By the way, we're not sponsored by Gatorade yet. You should be drinking this. Aren't you diabetic?
Yeah.
You just told me before we started he's diabetic.
Type 2.
You shouldn't be drinking that.
Oh, well, this has 0 sodium. Shit ton of sugar.
Actually, I don't think there's a lot of sugar in that.
I'm sorry, I said shit. I mean,
You can say whatever you want.
the bad word.
You can say whatever you want. We're not filtered. We're not controlled by the FCC. So, this is my friend Richard.
Nice to meet you guys.
And that's all you're going to get. You're not going to get his last name, you weirdos.
This is Cody.
There's a lot of creeps out here watching us. You know that, right?
John, if you're watching me.
John,
No.
Jacob, Jingleheimer, Schmidt. You
Ashley,
turn this off right now and do your homework.
Jim. No. I know you're... Stop getting the lotion. I'm not that good looking anymore. I got fat.
Yeah, but you lost some weight.
I lost some weight, so...
How much did you lose again?
I lost 15 pounds.
15 pounds. That's pretty good.
We get the clap.
You're going to have the audience clap. We have an audience member out of camera. You want me to say your name?
Yeah.
My buddy Aaron is out of camera. So
He's
it's Aaron and Richard.
He's
today.
from Saskatchewan, Canada.
Yeah, it was a long drive.
I had to pick him up.
So, hey, man, how have you been? What's going on? And how have you been? I asked that twice in a row. How have you been?
I've been great.
3 times. How have you
Just
been? 4
working.
times. Good. Working where?
I'm working for a company called Hatch Stamping.
Hatch Stamping? Give him a raise, Hatch Stamping.
They won't do that. They don't do anything for anybody.
Well,
I did
you
not
probably
say,
shouldn't
I'm
have
sorry.
said that.
I'm sorry. HP. Or HS, sorry.
HP for life?
HP for life.
You told me someone got evicted not too long ago
Yeah, a
by
guy-
your house.
This guy just lost his house. I just moved into my first ever house. It's not been a good experience since I've been there.
Why is that?
The guy's a jerk. I just I don't really talk a lot. Well, as you guys know, I talk way too much.
Hey, we're all guilty of that.
Well, he just thinks I'm a punk kid, and it's my first ever home. He's a little older than me, so he just kind of wants to destroy that for me. It's my first home.
So he's like just a mean old neighbor guy.
Yeah, have you ever seen that show Recess when you were kids?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like the old lady on there. You know,
Oh.
Mrs. Finster.
Oh, right.
He's like her. She
Okay.
always tries to ruin the fun. Yeah.
Huh. But now he's gonna be out of there, huh?
Yeah.
Why'd he get evicted?
Oh, he just doesn't follow the rules. They don't want him in there anymore.
Oh. Okay.
How about you? How do you like living in your new home? Well, not new home, but
Well, I'm
it's
down here a lot, so I might as well be living here, but
fixing it up.
yeah, no, I'm definitely blessed to have a house, you know? Don't really like the area.
Yeah,
Could
I
be.
hear ya.
Well, it could be worse.
I did move 5 minutes from you, though. Literally, it's right off of Cooper.
Yeah.
Or
Right.
whatever, the street.
Nobody knows the streets we're
Nobody
talking about.
does.
No, yeah, but I'm trying to get out into the city or the country.
There's a couple houses out by him in Saskatchewan.
Probably, yeah, I would imagine. I don't even know where that is.
Where's Saskatchewan, Aaron?
Do you mean Saskatchewan?
Is that what it is?
There might be a Saskatchewan.
Well, have you ever seen the movie Grown Ups?
Yeah.
You know how he goes, "What's up, ladies? You from Saskatchewan?"
Oh, that might be a real place.
Yeah.
Huh.
Apparently, they all have big muscles but tiny voices.
Big muscles and tiny voices. Anything else tiny?
You know,
Eyes, tiny
I've
eyes.
heard they have very tiny eyes, tiny feet. I feel bad for them. It's a very tiny community.
In a very big land.
A very big lake.
Well, cool, man. So you wanted to touch on some topics today, some things that interest you. My guy's a real big NASCAR buff,
I am.
and we're fortunate enough. We have a NASCAR track in our county. It's half in our county.
Half of it's owned by Leone and half of it's owned by Jackson.
And that would be Michigan International Speedway.
Out of Brooklyn, Michigan.
And we're in Jackson, Michigan. So it's
Yep.
about a 30-minute drive.
Let's see.
Right?
Yeah,
20
it's
minutes.
about
20.
10, 15, maybe 15.
Okay, well, we drive different speeds. Cause
I drive fast. He drives a little slower than me.
Hey,
I feel
I
like I'm a
I like
NASCAR
to
driver.
breathe the oxygen, man. I just take it slow, dude.
I feel like I'm a NASCAR driver. I gotta get there.
Got it?
We only got 400 miles.
So yeah, have you ever been to a NASCAR race?
I have. I've been to 12. I went to my first ever race at MIS in 2004. It was actually kind of cool. Or no, 2005. It was early 2005. Jeremy Mayfield. It was a fuel mileage race. He won.
He was the Target guy, right?
No, he was the Dodge dealership guy. Number 19.
He drove for Dodge dealership?
Yep. For Ray Evernham Motorsports, number 19. And then
Okay.
his teammate the next year was Casey Kane. This guy likes Kurt Busch.
Well, I'm indifferent now.
Yeah.
I liked Kurt Busch when I was 12. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't. Yeah, he was getting in trouble all the time.
him and Tony.
And Tony Stewart was my guy. 2005, when he won the championship, was the best year in NASCAR. Now, 2006 was a whole different level.
Well-
Jimmy Johnson.
Well, how was that first race you went to? Can you tell us about the experience and just what you were feeling?
I was excited more often, I was more excited when I was leaving because I could feel the energy of the cars. But when you get into the track and you smell the fuel and you smell the tires and you smell that, it's a totally different. It's just there's nothing like burning rubber, gas, and big fat guy sweat right next to you.
Oh, yeah. That third thing sounds like you have to pay for that.
Yeah, it didn't. Fortunately, it was my dad, but yeah.
Well, I guess smelling your fat dad's sweat's better than smelling some other guy's fat dad's sweat.
Yeah, well, because you're kind of part of him, so you smell like it.
Right.
But yeah, it was probably the best race I've ever been to. It was more interesting because, and we were sitting right in front of turns 3 and 4, and they were coming off the back straightaway, and you'd hear them screaming, and the exhaust fumes just going in the air. It was something you just.
Now, can you explain to the folks at home what a straightaway is?
So straightaway is the long part of the track where it's just straight. And then the turn. Now all you people that like to say that it's just left turns, it's not. You got strategy. You got to figure out fuel mileage, tire distance. I mean, how long the tires are gonna hold up. You got to think about the pit crew. I mean, it's actually a kind of a dangerous sport if you think about it. Now, all you people that think it's not a sport, where do all your NFL people go after they retire? Most of them are the jack guys. Most of them are the crew guys on the
Really?
team. Yep.
I didn't know that.
Barry Sanders worked for Jeff Gordon 2 years.
No way. Barry Sanders?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that's cool.
That's
I didn't
where
know that.
most of the NFL guys go.
Wow.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I mean, lifting
Yeah, you're
3,000-pound car. I don't know how.
Well,
heavy
you're not lifting the car, but you're
well, with
lifting.
the jack, I mean.
Yeah,
it
you're
still
lift-
takes some
well,
strength, right?
Well, you got soccer players, baseball players. They all go towards it too.
Wow.
If you talk to any of the, I met. His name was Kevin Ryan, I think. He played for the Pittsburgh Steelers in 1982. And he was in a place called Dicker and Deal in Jackson, and I met him. Well, he was telling me that he worked for Tim Richmond's crew early years, and Tim Richmond died of AIDS. He was in the number 25 Folgers car. He was one badass mother trucker. If you ever watch clips of him, he was the superstar of NASCAR at that time. But
now I'm acting as my own researcher here because I like to research what people say. Not to be a know-it-all.
oh, you're good.
I just don't want to put faulty information in 2 of our listeners' heads.
Yeah.
That's how many people listen to this, 2. I'm hoping to get to 3. So you said that Barry Sanders was a pit crew for Jeff?
He worked for Jeff Gordon for like 2 years. I don't know if he was doing it full time, but he went there and he was working with the crew at the shop.
He was working with him.
Not really. He was training with them. That's what he said in an interview online, on a YouTube video.
He was training with Jeff
He was
Gordon's...
doing he was doing a pit stop to see how it was like.
Oh, so he just...
Yeah, he didn't work for him.
He did it for kind of like fun.
He did it for fun, well, kind of. He was still getting kind of paid for it.
Okay.
Because he gets paid for the interview and stuff like that.
Yeah, because I'm not seeing anything like Barry
No,
Sanders.
I mean it, but if you look up old NFL players, you'll find them on there. Look
That's
up
a really
NFL,
interesting thing.
NFL NASCAR.
So, All-Pro running back Alvin Kamara announced on Sunday that he has partnered with NASCAR. And let me click on it.
I think he's the one that just sponsored one of the cars.
And he will serve as an engagement advisor for NASCAR.
Yep. I can't remember. They got a bunch of college players too that go and do the NASCAR pit stops and everything.
Okay. 10 NFL stars with NASCAR ties. Troy Aikman.
Yep.
Fox's lead NFL game analyst and former Dallas Cowboys QB Roger Staubach formed Hall of Fame Racing, which began competing in NASCAR in 2006. The team fielded the number 96 with Terry Labonte,
DLP,
and then Tony Raines as drivers. Troy Aikman and Staubach, both NFL Hall of Fame members, sold their stake in the team. Okay. Terry Bradshaw. See, I want to read something about one of them being like a pit crew member.
Yeah, look up NASCAR college football players, like legitimate, like Alabama. If you look up most of the crew members, it will tell them like where they came from, their background in the football or baseball or hockey.
Oh, here we go. Former college football players flocking to NASCAR pit crews.
Yep.
Interesting.
See, now the second race I ever went to, or my favorite race of all time, was the one where Dale Jr. won, because you could feel the stands vibrating.
Nice.
And as you know, Dale Jr. is like the most famous NASCAR driver there is.
NASCAR teams are turning to former college athletes to fulfill pit crew positions.
They have six, as of right now, 6 full-time NFL stars, though.
And this is USA Today, so it's not some podunk website.
No. Barry Sanders did have a spot in there, but I think he was
I believe
training.
you. I really thought that was interesting you say that. I just wanted to look it up for myself, but I never would have thought that. But it says right here they're looking to college athletes for their strength, mobility, and speed.
Yep.
Huh. That's really cool.
Well, I mean, I kind of get it, though, because if you think about it, you're carrying over 60-pound tires with a gas can that's like a gas can full of gas. I mean, you grab a one of those big jugs of gas. It's not light, but you're carrying over a big gas tank about that big. It's got a big long hoop on it.
Right.
So, I mean, that's probably 90 to 100 pounds right there.
That's a good workout.
That is a very good workout. And if you watch some of the videos that they have of those guys going in, they train on the campus facility. They come in, they pull the car in, they go over the wall, they hit the lug nuts, and it's within like 16 seconds they're out.
Yeah, that's mind-blowing, man. I mean,
I couldn't do that.
so who do you think is doing more work, the driver or the pit crew members? Like
You-
physical.
You know, you're in a car that's it's damn near probably 150 degrees. A lot of people, oh, you're just driving left. No. Think about, so a couple of years ago, they went to a track called Sonoma. It's a road course.
Mm-hmm.
The drivers are turning left and right. The guy got out of the car, and you know those blisters you get after tattoos?
Right.
Those big red blisters filled with pus and everything?
Yeah.
Well, that happened. It was bubbled all up and down his feet. All up and down his feet. And he was pushing the brake, shifting the clutch. I mean, I kind of understand where people say, oh, well, the pit crews members are doing more. But if you think about it, the drivers, they're putting, I mean, everything they got into it. I mean, you're going 190 miles an hour around a corner. That's not easy.
Which is crazy.
And the
I mean-
G-forces, it's like going into... They got... Kyle Petty hit the wall at 135 miles an hour and backed into it.
Jeez.
And he had 6 Gs. I think it was 6 or 4 Gs. I can't remember. It was in between somewhere that. But he hit the wall so hard that the gas tank moved inside of the cab of the car.
Dang.
Yeah. It literally broke the chassis in half.
Wow.
Yeah. And then if you look at Mike Harmon at Bristol, there's a barrier at Bristol where they open a gate. Well, he hit that gate and it moved in. And when he did that, the front of the chassis pulled this way, sawed the car in half, and then another car came in and hit him inside the car.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Wow. That's death-defying stuff, man.
I would do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah?
I'd get in a car. I would right now.
Is that something that you'd want to pursue and
Yeah.
something you've thought about doing all
Well,
your life?
Right now, I've been with a girl for 4 years. She's the love of my life. I would love to do that. Her dad raced at Flat Rock for the longest time, doing figure 8 cars. I'd do it in a heartbeat. I would do it I'd get in there and do 1,000 laps, even if it was like a 25 lap race.
Right.
I just want to be in the car.
The race would be over and you'd
I'd still be going. I just want to do laps. I don't even care if I win. I'm out there to win, of course, but I want to be in a car. And I just want to put myself between me and that car in front of me. I want to beat that car.
Right.
Even when I'm on the highway, I think of it as like a NASCAR race. I'm just like, I got to get past that guy, gap him by like a straightaway, and go.
No, that's cool, man. I mean, it sounds like you know a lot about it.
I love racing.
It's really cool hearing stuff I've never heard before about it.
Me and a buddy, I'm not going to say his name, we play NASCAR, and I love thinking about the races that I've played online on like a game.
Mm-hmm.
I like to go back. I'll remember like frame for frame of what we did, what my pit stops were, what the times were, what the lap times were. We were at Homestead and we were running side by side like for 5 laps. And we were going, I was running the top, he would run the bottom. And each time I would gap him on the back straightaway, but he would run that bottom. And I mean...
Now, you're talking about a video game, just to
Yeah.
clarify? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It gets intense, and then when you go to Talladega and you're running 4 wide, trucks on the inside, trucks on the outside.
Now, hold on. For those at home, what does 4 wide mean?
So 4 wide is when 4 cars are like side to side. Now, if you go to Michigan, you can fit cars 5 wide in a corner. Bristol, you can only fit cars 3 wide in a corner. Talladega, you can fit probably 6 cars, 6 wide.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Do they do that often?
Oh, dude. Can you look it up?
Yeah.
So look up.
I can look anything up.
Look up Tony Stewart Talladega crash. While he's doing that, Aaron, is there anything you want to say? Where do you work, Aaron? He's so out of it right now.
Aaron is our audience member, so he doesn't have to chime in. And also, I don't have a monitor, so nobody can see this. Fine. But I'll still play it. I mean, Talladega crash, Tony Stewart.
Our next
2012.
Yep. Oh, dude.
I'm just gonna mute it so YouTube don't.
Racing is. It's been. I was born with a thing called autism. I have ADHD and autism. And when I was a kid, my mom and dad would sit me in front of a TV. And that would just be my whole life. Like, for that 4 hours, I'd just be toned out. Be totally silent. Yeah, dude, that was it. That's five wide of cars going upside down.
That's pretty intense, man.
That is intense. I mean, if you think about it, one instance and those guys would all be gone right there.
Wow.
It would kill them instantly.
But the safety precautions and it's just worlds above what it was
when Dale
years
Earnhardt,
ago, right?
Yeah. In 2001, when Dale Earnhardt died, everything changed. It was like the whole world kind of went silent. We lost fans. We lost everything. Racing's totally changed since Dale Earnhardt. But finally it's starting to come back to where it used to be, where fans were in the stands. Fans would want to see what was going on. They lowered their ticket prices. I mean, tickets last year were like $120. Or not, sorry, before the pandemic were like $120 to go in.
Wow.
And now they're like $35.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang.
I want to take you.
They really dropped prices.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Well, it's because we were losing fans like crazy. Nobody wants to pay $135 to go out there and sit in a stand that's going to make you hot and you're going to stink after you get out of there.
But for 35 you might.
35, I mean, just the adrenaline. I mean, even just sitting there watching the cars, I still get excited to watch and see what's going on.
Right.
I mean, with the cars getting bigger and the cars getting faster, there's more danger involved. But the new car that's coming, I mean, you're not going to have the big roar of the car. You're not going to have... They're putting mufflers on the cars. They don't have mufflers at all right now.
Really?
They only have exhausts.
Really? Okay.
Which mufflers they put the sound on there. They eliminate the big roar of the engine.
Right. So what are these new cars? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
The Gen 7s.
Gen 7s.
These
Okay.
things
How are they
gorgeous.
different from the previous?
Well, they're going to... So a NASCAR right now has 5 lug nuts.
Mm-hmm.
This car only has 1 lug nut.
On each tire?
Yeah. You just put it in.
One lug nut.
It's going to be
That must be one strong lug nut.
It is.
Is it the same tires?
It's about that big around. No, actually the tires look a lot cooler now. Right now they bend in and to make like a big old rim in the middle, like a big circle. Well, these ones have like the designer rims and everything that the street cars have.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. It's the same material?
Yeah. Well, no, they're making everybody's gonna run the same engine. So it's gonna be an advantage for the people that run in the back. People like a Joey Gase or Ben Kennedy or any of those guys that run in the back all the time can run in the front and give them a chance to show what their talent is.
Okay.
So I'm just excited for 2022 to start.
No, absolutely, man. So you plan on going to some races?
Oh yeah,
2022?
I want to take you to.
Yeah, I'd be down. I'd be down to go.
I want to take you to Bristol Dirt Race.
Okay, that's the smallest track,
That's
right?
the smallest
in NASCAR?
track. Not after next year. I think they're going to be going to a bull ring, which they call it the bull ring. It's called IRP. I don't know if it's going to happen, They're talking about it. So,
IRP, what is...
Indianapolis, it's an Indy International Raceway. It's like a little... The straightaway is probably as wide as the basement. And probably as long as the basement is. Yeah. And then they just go around the corner. They're going to try and fit 40 cars in that.
40 full stock cars?
Yeah.
How?
I don't know. I think it's a little longer than this basement, maybe. It's probably from the basement to the road. It's literally a small track. What they're thinking is they're going to have heat races.
Heat races?
Yeah, so like 20 cars would go in at one time, and then they would take those top 10 fastest cars, eliminate the other 10, and put those 10 in, and then do that the same with the other 40.
Okay.
So that makes it'd be like 20 cars racing for the top prize.
Okay.
I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, no. That'd be pretty intense.
It would
having
be.
that many cars in a small space.
It would
You're going to have a lot of wrecks, probably, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Being that close.
It's kind of advanced. I mean, if you watch races from a long time ago, I get that fans want to see the wrecks, but I just like to see a driver that can showcase his talent. Somebody that can get out there and show me, hey, I can go up against these guys. I don't even care about the wrecks. I don't care about the pit stops. I want to see a driver go out there that's motivated, willing to win, show his team that they're willing to win. That's what a driver is. That's the driver in me. I want to see that driver go out and be like, I'm the best there is. I can beat the best. That's what a driver is to me.
Okay.
But I feel like that's what NASCAR needs to be as. Not, I'm going to go out here and crash the whole field or turn backwards and go around and crash everybody like we used to do as kids.
On the video games, you mean? Not in real life.
No, they had one time where the pace car got stolen. And the
Really?
guy at Talladega, the pace car got stolen and the guy was going around the track.
The wrong way?
Yeah. No cars were on the track at that time. It was pre-race, but that's still funny.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, Talladega, that's the biggest track?
Nope. The biggest track... It's the biggest oval. I wouldn't even call it an oval. It's the biggest oval. The biggest track on the circuit right now is our Circuit of the America.
I've never heard of that. Is that new?
Oh, dude, this place is huge. It's 3.5 miles.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where's that at?
It's out in Austin, Texas.
Austin, Texas. Yep. Shout out to Austin, Texas, by the way.
Austin, Texas.
So it's the biggest track.
Pew, pew.
Yeah, pew pew.
Yeah, it's a road course.
Okay.
Now
So
there's
dirt?
Nope, it's
Or
it's an asphalt.
Okay.
It's actually concrete, which is even cooler. And the coolest thing about NASCAR now is they're starting to race in the rain.
Really?
Yeah.
So they have different tires now?
Yep, they got rain tires.
Wow.
It's actually really cool. If you look at the dirt modified cars, they're the same tires as those dirt modifieds. They just got the big treads in them.
So the big name NASCAR guys are doing this?
Yep.
Wow, I've been really behind on NASCAR.
Dude, it's so awesome.
I didn't know this was...
Yeah. They had the biggest crash. They have Martin Truex. Guy was coming, or Michael McDowell had a problem or something, and he was slowing down while Martin Truex couldn't see him because the rain cloud was so big. And when he came in, he smacked the back of his car, and another guy came in and smacked him. His car went and slapped back down on the ground.
Jeez.
And if you watch the crash from Eric Armarola, he broke 2 discs, or I think he broke 3 discs in his back. Just because Joey Logano was coming into a corner and his brake rotor exploded. And when
Really?
it did, it shot right into Danica Patrick, and this car came in and slapped. It just slammed down.
Wow.
Broke 3 discs. But yeah, racing is so much different since 2010, 2010, 2011.
Okay.
It's a lot better.
So from 2000 to 2010, it changed, and then from 2010 to now, it's changed?
Well, they went from tandem drafting, which tandem drafting is when one car is behind the other, and they push.
Okay.
And then they went from that to back to pack racing, which, like I showed you, Tony Stewart, they did that. But, I mean, still, those cars had such an aerodynamic, dysfunction to it, where the cars would lag to the other car, and it wouldn't get as much of a run on the others. So it's been kind of boring because they would just run single file instead of running side by side.
Okay.
So they put these, what they're called is a restrictor plate on top of the engine, and it forces more air to come through, and kind of just made the cars run side by side more. It's more passing, it's more fun. I mean, like that race
It forces
you watched,
more air to go through?
I don't know if it forces more air or if it stops the air. Never really ran or looked into
more
that.
air. I think would be better
Push.
For the speed because
Yeah.
you're getting more oxygen.
Oh yeah, they're probably never mind. You're right.
So it's probably restricting the
restricting
Because
air.
are they slower?
That's why it's called a restrictor plate.
So I would assume they're slower.
Yeah, they're a little slower. They went from like 10,000 RPM to like 8,500.
What was the fastest year for NASCAR?
Oh, 19 is the year Bill Elliott ran 212 at Talladega. No restrictor plate. This car was hauling ass around this corner. Oh, man. You watch this race. Cale Yarborough gets in he goes into this
It's my
corner.
cat, by the way, everyone. Evo.
Evo.
Yeah.
I just got a kitten. He got a kitten. I got 2 kittens. They're pains. But, yeah, dude. I can't remember what year that was. They have it in the Henry Ford Museum. Bill Elliott, his car went 212, and he could not be stopped. He led the whole race and lapped the whole field by 2 laps.
Wow.
Yeah.
By 2 laps?
2 laps. It was awesome.
What was going? Was he burning moonshine with the car? Like,
No.
how was he going so fast?
They didn't have that restrictor plate. That was the last year. That's when Bobby Allison went in the stands with the fans. His whole car clipped his fence, tore the fence right apart.
Man.
Now, any of you that were there that day, congratulations.
And how was that Talladega?
Yeah. The only race death that I ever heard of, I've heard of millions of deaths at NASCAR races.
Like audience members?
Yeah, like a couple years ago, a guy was struck by lightning in the stands at Pocono. A lady at Michigan had her head ripped off.
Okay, that's
By a
pretty
tire.
extreme.
Yeah, a
Jeez.
tire came off an Indy car and smacked her head.
Oh, God.
It actually hit 4 people, but when it got to her, she was gone.
Wow.
Yeah. But, I mean, safety has advanced so much over the years. And I'm so happy to see drivers get into these cars and actually know what they're doing. Feel like they can do it because they're safe.
Mm-hmm.
So, but...
Feel like they can go 200 miles an hour, 3 inches from a wall, concrete wall.
I would love that. I would do anything to get in a car right now. I would give up my house for a car. Literally.
A NASCAR.
Yeah. I would sell my house for a race car.
So what if you had a NASCAR and that's all you had? You would just drive it around constantly? Or?
Oh, I'd sleep in it. I'd literally sleep in that Hans device seat. I'd just be there like that.
Now, what'd you say?
The Hans device, or they call it a Hans device seat, but it's called that's what some of the drivers call it. Well, it's actually, I can't remember what they're called. It's not really the name of it. That's what a lot of people call them. It's just because they're the safety seats.
Hans device?
Yeah. Well, that's what they call it, the Earnhardt necklace. That's what some drivers call it, the Earnhardt necklace, because Dale Earnhardt wasn't using that when he was racing.
Okay.
And that's what a lot of people think killed him. But actually, he actually had what they call is he had a heart attack after he hit the wall, which pretty much killed him. But
he had a heart attack from hitting the wall?
He had a heart attack when he was going towards the wall, but when he got towards the wall, it snapped his neck. He actually gave that Hans device he was going to wear that day to Dale Jr. before he died.
So he was the only one not wearing one?
No, there was a couple other drivers, but they were involved in a earlier accident, but they weren't as bad as Dale. And if you ever look into Dale Earnhardt, I would say it was a year before his crash. He actually had neck surgery the year before his crash. And that's, a lot of people say that was the reason he died. Our audience member is asleep.
You know the show's going well.
Yeah.
So, I've always had a theory about Talladega. They call it the big one.
Yeah.
And that being, to people who don't know, that's when a huge crash occurs in the middle of the race. Now, do you think that's intentionally set up? Because fans are expecting it. You know, they're like, come on, son, we're going to Talladega to see the big one. Like, every year. Does it always have to happen?
No. A couple years ago, actually, it didn't.
Really?
Yeah, what I think it is, drivers, if you listen to the in-car radios, the cars are like feathers around that track. The only time they're stable is when they're hitting in the rear. And the only way they're stable is if you hit them on the right side of the rear end. But if you hit them on the left end, it's like a feather. It'll just go around. And if you watch the NASCAR race, they're a paper width apart from each other. It looks a lot bigger on TV, but it's really not. I've been to Talladega. I've went by Talladega. I've never been to the race, but I was there and we were able to go in and step on the area before you get onto the racetrack. That was probably the biggest race I've ever been to, or biggest racetrack. I want to go to a road course though. Those are fun. That's a party.
So with the Talladega, you're saying it's probably not intentionally set up. But what if they're intentionally packing them together? And mathematical odds, if you pack things together at 200 miles an hour, there might be a big wreck.
Well, that's what NASCAR wants. I mean, you're putting 40 cars out there. You're putting 40 cars out there side by side. Sooner or later, it's going to happen. But I mean, I don't think that they're going to put these $1 million machines out there just for them to crash them. But I mean, that's why they got the 5-second or the 5-minute rule for the clock now. That's so, your car's too damaged, you can't go out there anymore. But I have seen 2004, they called it the deflate gate NASCAR style. A driver went out there, or this wasn't 2004. So there was a guy, I think it was Mike, I can't remember what the driver's name was. He went out on the track and went up on the racetrack while the cars were coming and purposely hit them. And the Carl Edwards went over top of his car and landed right down.
Wow.
Yeah, and that took out half of the field. But that was the only time I've ever seen it be an intentional wreck. But
how come there's no big one? How come they don't call it a big one at any other track? Why is Talladega the one where it's the big one?
Well, you got the big one at Daytona, but that's just because they're super speedways. The difference between MIS and Talladega is 30 miles away. If you were to add the straightaway onto Daytona and Talladega and take a little percentage of that and put it on MIS, that would be a super speedway. It's
so
just
it's the size that matters.
It's the size of the track pretty much. Daytona is banked like this if you ever go on it.
Now banked is when the road is
a
on
little
an angle.
higher. Yeah.
And that's so cars don't drift off?
They
or?
don't slide down because these cars are getting suctioned to the wall or like to the ground.
Oh, okay.
Have you ever? Did you watch the Talladega race this year?
No,
Oh,
I haven't watched any races this
oh,
year.
you didn't watch? I thought you were texted me that one time, or you texted me.
Or I might have watched part of one.
Yeah, I think you watched the ending of the Talladega race
I might have.
where Kurt Busch blew up. Remember, you kept asking me.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, I did catch a little bit of one.
So if you watch them, there's no gap between that car's front and the bottom of the track. Those, if you stuck a piece of paper underneath of that car, it would crumple up like that.
Wow.
Yeah, they're that suction cup to the track. You'll watch them and they'll have sparks coming out from underneath the car. It's really cool.
So it makes sense why they're so anal about no trash on
Yep.
the track.
Yeah, and if you watch, I mean, race after race in 2018, cars were getting blown up, motors were being scrapped because people were throwing hot dog wrappers, pizza boxes. In 2004, they were throwing beer cans at Jeff Gordon.
Really?
They were mad because Dale Jr. was leading, coming to 2 to go. And so Jeff Gordon went around him just to buy it like a half a car length right by him. And Jeff Gordon won the race. Caution came out and they declared it to Jeff Gordon. Or the year Dale shut his car off and it was like 2 laps to go. His car stalled and Jeff went around him and won the race.
Now, why do you think there's so much quote-unquote hate around Jeff Gordon? I mean, a lot of people like him, but then you got good old boys that, you know, think he's a fruit in more or less terms.
Did you ever see that rainbow car?
His rainbow car? Yeah.
That's why.
That's why.
They always called him Wonder Boy.
Wonder Boy.
It was awesome.
But was it just that, or was it because he was good?
Well,
I mean, he was a good driver.
He was probably, at that era and that time, Dale Earnhardt was the best there was.
Right.
I mean, you got the best of the best right there fighting neck and neck. Mark Martin, Dale Earnhardt, Rusty Wallace. Some of the best names there ever has been in NASCAR, and all of a sudden you got this young kid come in, and he's just taking over. I mean, he's winning race after race after race. I mean, all that hates. I mean, if you look at it, have you ever heard of Kyle Busch?
Oh, yeah.
So, have you ever seen how he's hated?
A little bit.
Well, he has over 234 wins through all series.
That's a lot of wins.
That's a lot of wins.
I didn't know that.
That's not even counting his, I can't remember what, the Bandoleros. You got your late models. You're not counting his dirt wins. He's got 40 late model wins, 45 dirt wins. I mean, if you think about it, this guy's got over 500 wins, career wins in like big racing.
Right.
And he is the most hated guy in NASCAR because he's cocky and he wins all the time. Now, the same thing with Jeff Gordon, but Jeff Gordon wasn't cocky. Jeff Gordon knew that he was talented. He didn't have to show that cocky side. He was the guy that just went out there and did it.
Yeah.
That's the thing people hate the most about it is when you say you're going to do something and you go out there and do it. I mean, people hate that.
Right. Yeah, that's true. I mean, just if you give your all into something in this world, someone's going to hate you for it.
Yeah, somebody's
Be
going to
jealous.
bash you. I get it. I've had it. I mean, I went out. I was always good at puzzles, and my brother would hate me because I would get 500 piece puzzles
It's
done
just
within
jealousy.
an hour.
When it comes down to it.
It's just jealousy, and it's that wanting to be the best at what you're doing.
Right.
I mean,
I think that's within all of us.
yeah, we all
From
have
birth.
that jealous. We all want to be the best at what we can do.
Yeah.
I mean, it just comes down to who can do it the best.
Right.
But
Right.
not everybody can do it, and you know what? That's totally fine. We're all good at what we can do. I mean, there is probably somebody out there that's probably bad at everything. That's me.
Well, I mean, we all have our strengths and weaknesses, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, for instance, if you took a stroll through Central Park, saw some dude defecating in a wastebasket, smoking four cigarettes at the same time,
I'd want to do it better.
with like a frickin' bandana on his head, just looking crazy, you might say, oh, that guy's probably not good at anything except defecating in a wastebasket. Meanwhile, you walk by again, he's schooling some people on chess.
Yeah.
He could be the number one chess player east of the Mississippi. So you can't.
Yeah, you can't always judge a book by its cover.
You can't judge a homeless guy by his defecating in a wastebasket.
Exactly.
Sometimes he's a chess master.
Or you could sleep like Aaron.
You could sleep like our audience member.
Yeah, sorry. What's your name again? Kyle? Okay. This is Kyle.
It's definitely Aaron. But anyway, I think it's really cool that you're so into something and you came here to share some stuff.
Yeah.
Because I learned something about NASCAR. I never knew, so that's cool.
Yeah. I'd love to get into more of it. I want my future to be as an IndyCar.
IndyCar?
I want to do that.
Now they go faster.
They go 214 miles faster, but they're in the kilometers, so it's like from us it would be like 300 kilometers, which would be like 200 miles for us. But they're fast. They have to, when they train, they drop a ball in their hand and they have to catch that ball like this. So they start their hands out like on top and then they drop their hands like that, try to catch the ball. They have to, and if they miss it, they literally have to set out that race.
They do that before every race?
Every race. It's called their hand-eye coordination. They have to try and figure out where they're going to go. Where that ball is going to land. How can they fix it? How can they beat that ball from getting there? Because if you watch some of those races... Mom?
Sounds like it's just a firework, I think. That's the game we play in Jackson. Was that a firework or a 12 gauge?
Aaron's truck's out there on fire.
It sounded like a firework.
Yeah. Is that a baseball in your lava lamp?
No, that's lava in the lava lamp.
What is those lines? Or is that like a spring?
Here, let me show the two viewers what you're talking about here. So that would be just lava. And I don't think it's lava from a volcano. I actually don't know what it's made from. But they market it as lava. So could be extremely toxic material.
I shall drink it.
But where were we? Before the gunshot.
I think we were talking about our Saskatchewan guests.
So you touched a little bit earlier on your autism.
Yeah.
Did you want to say anything about that at all? Or what has it been like living with autism?
Well, autism is if you think about it, it's not easy, but it's not like people act like you're the stupidest person in the world when you have it. But I'm out here just living day by day just like everybody else. Yeah, I might be a little slower. I might be a little different than everybody else. I might not look in the eye. I might be a little weird at times. I say weird things, but that's just who I am. It's how I was raised, how I was grown up, and everybody looks at it differently, but I just look at it as if I'm a normal person.
Now, is there different severities
of
autism?
You got your high functioning, which I am high functioning. You got your low functioning, which is like my buddy Jeff. He can't talk. He can't even eat by himself or on his own. when I was in school, we had a girl or a teacher named Mrs. Hendricks. If you are watching this, I still
she's
hate
one of
you.
my subscribers, your teacher.
I'm sorry, I still hate you.
I'm just kidding.
She told me it was fat, and I didn't take that well because
She said you were fat?
no. She told this kid. I mean, he's 300 pounds at this time. I don't know how big he is now. He could be. When I last seen him, he said he did gain over 100 more pounds, but he couldn't talk. He couldn't tell anybody about how he was feeling. He couldn't tell you stop doing that. Stop making fun of me. He couldn't say that. So I kind of took him under my wing a little bit, and I'd always listen to him. I'd always talk to him. I'd always work with him on his words. And one day we were sitting in the lunchroom and he was eating. Well, I can't eat in front of people. It's hard for me. I've gotten better through the years. But he was having a hard time because his mom and his dad both left when he was a young kid. His mom's in prison right now because of what she did. I don't know if you'd want to hear about that.
No.
It's actually in Jackson.
No,
Yeah, I'll leave that out, but
I just want to get to the autistic part.
yeah. Well, his dad died of cancer, and well, we were sitting in the classroom, and she comes in and she goes, "Do you really think you need to be eating?" And I was like, "Who's she talking to?" And he's sitting there, and he's kind of got his head down, and I asked him, "Are you okay?" And he goes, "Well, she called me fat and told me I need to stop eating. Maybe I'll lose weight, be like better."
Mm-hmm.
Well, I didn't take that well. I got detention for that week because of the things I said. But yeah, autism's hard at times, especially with jobs. I mean, I've had people tell me that you can't do this because you're autism, or you'll never be able to do this, or. But you know, the easiest thing is you gotta show people that you can do it, even if you fail. You go out there and you do it again. You never give up. I don't care how hard you fall, how hard you feel like you took that fall. You get up and you do it again. I have autism. I deal with it day to day. I have struggles. It's hard for me to even wake up some of the time, but I'm still out there. I'm still kicking. And every time I get better and better, and here I am. I work my ass off to get better.
Right on.
And I will never stop that. No matter how many times. Because I had a friend once tell me, "Well, you've had so many." That doesn't matter if you've had so many.
So many what?
So many jobs. But that doesn't matter. You're still out there trying each day. You're not sitting at home playing a video game. You're out there beating your ass, trying to get yourself to do it. With a disability, with like autism, you can't always push yourself. Sometimes it's like the hardest thing to do is push myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still out there. I still do it.
Well, that's true for, non-autistic people,
Yeah,
too.
non-autistic people,
I mean, I
too.
find myself, it's hard to push me to do stuff a lot of the
Yeah.
time, I have to really force myself to
Yeah.
do simple stuff,
But it's like, I always feel like I'm never going to be able to do it because I'm always you have a tag on your back. It's like, you're tagged as a working man. Kyle's tagged as a crowd man, working man, busting his ass all the time. I mean, this is the hardest working man I've ever met in my life. Aaron is out there beating his goal every day. He is there every day. Never takes a day off. He's working so hard. I mean, I wish I could be like him.
Yeah, same here. I don't have that great of a work ethic as some of my friends, but I've also been very fortunate to have, gotten this house, and
Yeah, me
I don't
too.
I guess I shouldn't say I don't have to work, Because I do have to work, but I don't think I have to work as hard. I don't have a family. I don't have children. I don't need to, kill myself.
No.
And I don't want to. That's why I'm doing this, because it's relaxing for me. It's very fun to learn stuff from people that I bring in here and get to take a break from life for a minute and
just listen to them.
Lay back and chill,
Yeah.
So, you said there's a tag on your back with autism?
Yeah, if you ever...
Wouldn't that only be if you told someone you had it?
Well, no. People look at your permanent record every day. I mean, if you go to a job tomorrow, they're at least going to look into you.
I thought you meant in the public eye. You mean like employers?
Yeah, employers, they always know.
Okay.
It doesn't matter if... Because you have a personal record through the state of Michigan. So they're going to look you up. They're going to see, this is what he's got. This is what we're dealing with.
Right.
A lot of people don't think that's true, but I know that's true because I've learned. My dad is an employer. He owns his own business. And
you want to give him a shout out?
Oh, yeah. Shout out to Bartlett Builders of Brooklyn, Michigan.
There you go. We should get sponsored.
Yeah, there you go. Best my dad can do about anything. So.
Maybe they could build a studio in here for us.
Yeah, there you go.
Or help, at least.
Dude, you should get, like, beads.
Beads?
Yeah, like, those shops where you go in and you have, like a voodoo shop. You know how they have the beads draped down as the door?
Oh, for the doorway?
Yeah.
Yeah, I looked into
that.
Some beads, yeah.
Then we have another guest.
That's Evo.
It's her bath time. Don't mind it.
Yep. We'll censor that out. So you have a target on your back when you walk into an employer or
I
during
always
an interview?
feel like I do.
They know.
Well, they don't know at first. But once you get a job, I mean, they kind of look into your history. They do this and that. Look into your criminal background. But, I mean, I don't have any criminal background. So, that's good. At least. I don't think I do. I don't know.
Have you ever been to jail or in front of a judge?
I have never been to jail. I have been in front of a judge. But that was for a parking ticket. That was about it.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Doing a lot better than a lot of people, especially in this town. Small Midwestern town.
I think probably 3/4 of the people in Jackson have been in jail.
That's a fair assessment. I need to stop looking at the camera. That's like one thing I've noticed I've been doing. Like it's just like a tick.
Yeah, it's a forced habit.
I just need to
How long have we been doing this?
Talk with you. So we've been doing this. I've been doing this for about 2 weeks. Oh, you mean this right now?
Yeah, no, I was just
58
wondering.
minutes.
We've been doing this for 58 minutes?
58
wow.
minutes.
I didn't even think that. I thought it was like 30 minutes.
So, I think this has been a pretty decent one.
Yeah.
The only reason I kind of want to cut it somewhat short is because the space on my SD card is very low on the phone.
And I can always come back if you want.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We can make this part 1. Part 2 could be 6 hours because I'll have a better SD card by next time you come.
And next time I'll bring some race cars.
Yeah, bring something to put on the shelf.
Yeah,
you know what you could do? You could bring like a card for your dad's business, pop it right up there. Dude, I'll advertise for him for free. You have one?
I don't know, I think... Would you take a social security card?
I don't think we should put a social security card in front of the camera.
I'm
not feeling that brave.
Yeah, I don't feel brave either for that one. I don't think I do.
You can hand me your debit card, though.
I mean...
And then I'll showcase it in my pocket.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I liked being on it. I could do it again. Our crowd was amazing. I mean, that was probably the best snoring I've heard in a long time.
Well, we got my dog Joey right here. He's part of the audience.
We got our other co-star.
Evo.
Know if you like kittens?
Well, she's not
available. No, she's not available at all.
Not at
Don't
all.
think about it.
Oh, people have thought about it. I'm sure.
25 mil.
Okay. Shit. Yeah, dude. Sorry, Evo. I mean, I love you, but hey, 25 million, that's a lot of money.
We will even sell you Aaron for 25 mil.
Yeah, I'm going to have to edit that up.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So I end with 2 questions.
Okay.
Let me restate it. So I end with 2 questions. And the first one is, what is your current state in life? And the second one being, where do you see yourself 5 to 10 years?
Current state of life, fat, and
Fat?
working.
Like PHAT, like you're fat, like you're cool?
No. Fat, but on a weight loss journey. I've lost 15 pounds so far. After that, I kind of see myself married, having children. I can't wait to marry the girl that I'm with. She's been the best thing that ever happened to me. And hopefully in the next 5 years, have a home, have a stable job, have a either stable job or be at the top of my job.
All right, we had a little bit of technical difficulties. The dog decided to bark, per usual. It's his favorite pastime. That and baseball. He loves watching baseball.
I love baseball.
But mostly barking. All right, well, we're going to end it there, folks. Want to thank Richard for being on the podcast. Want to thank my buddy Aaron out of Shot for being on the podcast. Evo, the cat. And Joey. Thank you.
Would you like to shout out your hometown of Saskatchewan?
All right, everyone. Good night. God bless and good luck.